Commence primary ignition.
I'm just not the hero type, clearly.
What a piece of junk.
Enterprise, this is the captain.
I got a bad feeling about this.
It's all part of the plan.
Engage.
Welcome back to Podcast 2 for 1. I am your host, Donovan Thompson, with my co-host,
Daniel Wingfield.
And we are back again with another Podcast 2 for 1 episode.
And don't let me interrupt you, but I'm going to interrupt you.
Please do.
This week, we are brought by our own goddamn blood, sweat, and tears because we do this every week for you. For nothing.
For nothing.
But you know what? This week, we're asking something back. Because tonight, the day this episode airs on the 7th of Saturday of March.
Yes.
That's how you say dates. We are hosting.
We're
hosting a live viewing of Batman 1989.
A live viewing.
One of Donovan's favorite films.
Sure.
Easily.
Yeah, I love it. I do love it.
And you know how you're going to pay us back? You're going to come to the Ron Robinson Theater tonight at 6 p.m. You're going to watch that goddamn Batman movie, and you're going to stay after for the first ever Podcast 2 for 1 live recording. And you're going to compete in some weird-ass competitions or something, maybe a Batman Christian Bale voice competition. And you know what? You might even win I thought that was a cough or a sneeze at first. I was like, damn.
That's my Batman, Christian Bale. You like it?
You might be in the top 3 already.
Where are they?
And we may be giving away some 4K Blu-rays as a part of those prizes for free.
I'm Batman.
Again, you owe it to us to come and get free stuff from us.
Podcast 2 for 1. Daniel Wingfield is a fucking cuck.
You like that one?
I like that.
Anyway.
It's pretty good. It's pretty close. I
not
like how
bad.
you're kind of jutting your lip, like trying to get that lisp kind of ness to it, which was that kind of weird lispy thing.
I am Batman.
Anyway,
so come, you owe us. You owe
1989
us.
Batman, Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton. It's like the best Batman movie of all time, besides all those other ones.
Get your asses in the seats.
And it's free. 6 p.m. Doors open at 5.
Yeah, sure.
Ron Robinson Theater in downtown Little Rock. Again, free prizes. Come do that.
Free tickets, free movie, free awesome.
Free awesome. Speaking of free,
What else is there to say?
the world has blessed us with a new virus called the coronavirus. It's completely free. You just get it if you have it. You just get it. You like that one?
Yeah.
I didn't have that one built in. I just made it up.
I didn't know where you're going. And
Yeah.
wow.
Well, here's the things about the coronavirus. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, it's kind of affecting the entertainment industry, right?
It's affecting everything.
Everything. Yeah. So we have Disney Plus is supposed to launch in London, like an event. They got closed down. Like, right, they're trying to take care of their cast and their crew and, of course, all their publicists and everything else.
Sure.
China has closed down 70,000 screens. And to put that perspective, if a movie opens up in North America, if they have a 3,900 plus screening, that's a big opening weekend. So it's kind of puts in perspective how big China is. 4,000 screens in America. There's 70,000 screens in China.
That's nuts.
It's huge.
It's nuts.
That's crazy. Okay,
There's only 4,000 in America?
if a movie if a movie opens up 4,000
That's
theaters,
a big opening. Yeah,
it's
sure.
a big opening.
Sure.
Right. So AMC has closed down 22 cinemas in Italy.
Yeah, and Italy, Japan, China, South Korea, I think, and Iran, I think, are the real bad places right now.
And we mentioned last week that Mission Impossible, set like the new 7 or 8, whatever, it's got shut down production for a few weeks because of Italy, right? And AMC is projected to lose over $1 million
From that.
from this like shutdown. I'm not sure how long.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, right? And here's the big one. It kind of happened.
Yeah.
No Time to Die. Daniel Craig's last outing as James Bond. It got pushed back
to November.
6
Thanksgiving,
months.
right?
It's coming out like 3 weeks from now or a month from now, 2 months from now.
It's like 6 months, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a long time. So it got pushed back because, of course, if China shut down, then they can't get as big opening numbers as they can. They can't say, hey, we broke records for a Bond
Well, I think
movie.
it's that, and it's also like
taking care of your actors and public and press and everything.
Yeah, and I think it's just that, let's say this virus gets worse. And I don't think we should have to say this because we're an entertainment podcast.
Right.
But I'm going to say it. I don't even know what I feel about saying it. But this is the last fucking thing that matters when it comes to a worldwide virus. Right? I mean, movies getting moved, video game conferences or things getting postponed.
It doesn't matter.
What matters is people being alive.
True.
But this is a video game podcast, so we're talking about that. Or entertainment podcast, so we're talking about that.
Yeah. Wash your hands.
Do that. Do that.
It's a good thing.
But
really, wash your
if
hands.
you just think about it, it's been, we've been seeing headlines. It's kind of hard to discover. It's hard to, weed through about how actually bad is this? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? I don't know.
It seems
there's so many numbers. There's so many different people that have opinions on it. You have the World Health Organization arguing with the President of the United States about how bad it is. Who fucking knows? The point is, if
Which is
this
kind of like
does
entertainment.
get worse, if this does get worse,
Right.
there's not going to be anybody going to the movie theaters. Or
no.
even if it was safe, even if it was just like, hey, it's bad. Like, even if you were in a town in, like, I don't know, Nebraska that has all of 2 people in it,
Yeah.
no one would be going to the theater because they'd be afraid.
Yeah.
They'd see the headlines
Hell,
and be afraid. So I think they're even
I would
thinking,
go to the theater if there was
well,
a
yeah, of
cor-
course not. I
if
mean,
it's
the
an
theaters
outbreak.
are one of the places that would
Yeah.
be most easily spread,
I know
right?
you haven't seen it, but Outbreak, it's like that's how it
Oh,
all
yeah.
starts. There's a guy in
I
the
know.
theater and he sneezes and it goes
Yeah.
out, and that's how it starts. Is from the theater.
Right. And so, just thinking of it that way, I think they're thinking is, well, if this does get worse, what if they bombed because of the coronavirus in America too?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
that's valid.
That's not, and for a movie that would never ever bomb in any other situation.
Yeah. Well, Mulan is still like Disney's Mulan. They're still opening up whenever. Like I think, I'm not sure.
Really? What?
They're still opening up. And I think in China too and everything. But it's projected to make 85.
Are they not already open in China?
No.
Okay.
It's projected to make like 85 million opening weekend. So like they're still.
When is their opening? Or when are they
pretty
releasing?
soon, like end of April, I believe. Mid-April, end of April.
Yeah, I mean, I would
think.
assume that James Bond moved theirs about a month out. I imagine if we're not any better by the end of March, early April, they'll move that one too.
I bet they
Especially because
will.
it's in China.
I bet they will.
I mean, China's one to be their biggest. It's a movie about China.
Yeah. That being said, though, if that's one of those ones that it doesn't have to, it can kind of come out any time of the year and probably do a lot of money there. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't have to like split the release dates. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah.
no, you're right.
Or you don't have to keep them the same. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You can split them. But anyway.
But also, I don't know if you've kept up with the video game side of this, but GDC,
A little bit, yeah.
Games Developer Conference, was canceled,
Oh, it's wild.
and E3 now. A lot of speculation if it's even going to happen.
I know. I saw that. Like, it
And-
may be the first time ever, or first time since it's
And there's even more
launch.
speculation that if E3 doesn't happen this year,
It never happened again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't need it anymore.
you don't. I mean, you
Because
do a
they
live
have-
press conference. You don't have to spend
Yeah.
hundreds of $1,000s on a set and a stage and a show and lights.
It's literally
and,
like just wagging your dick in front of
which
an audience.
I love. I mean, like,
No,
the
nothing
hype,
wrong.
The hype of E3 is the fun of it.
It is. I do like it, but
You know, sitting on the edge of your seats, what random ass celebrity is going to come out on stage and announce a stupid ass game? You know, it's
That's
just
true.
like, it's fun. It's
That's
like
true. I know.
And
I get
so
it.
I hope we don't miss that, but it is interesting. I mean, we are. I feel like, and I was like I said, I was in college during the H1N1 scare, but it never felt this big to me. There was the Ebola virus a few years ago,
Yeah.
and that was at times felt bad or crazy. But again, this so far to me it feels bigger, but it may just be I'm more tapped into news and
I think it's
things
that.
like that.
Again, I don't. This ain't a political or a podcast or anything. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't have all the facts. I won't talk about it. Go look.
Yeah.
Go do research. Form your own opinion, and just be safe. Just take precautions.
Anyway,
and,
coronavirus bad. Hope get better.
yeah. And speaking of sad things, the novelization of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker just come out.
That was a great transition.
And
because you're right. It is sad.
it is. And so we learned, in technically from what even Disney, I think, said this last week, they're like, hey, this is canon. So we learned a lot of different tidbits and
I don't
information.
know if they know what that word means.
I
I think they may mean that means it's like in a literal canon somewhere.
I was gonna say it was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Disney.
What does canon mean, Daniel? For our listeners who don't know.
Canon means it's like the true events or the like fact. It's like it's a history. It's what should be the history of the world we're talking about. right?
Exactly.
Like with a video game, right? Maybe an RPG where you have multiple endings or multiple choices a player character can make. Most of the time, especially if there's a sequel to that game, they say here are the canon choices that player character made in that story that sets up the next one. Right. So it's like this is what the options are, but in the canon version, this is what happens.
Yeah, no, it's a great explanation. So there's a few things that come out that I'm going to kind of run by you real quick. I want to kind of talk about them.
Hit me.
So one of them was the Reylo kiss was platonic, meaning that at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, again, spoilers. If you go more about our thoughts about the movie, go check out the podcast.
It's less of a spoiler, more of a warning.
More
This is coming for you.
right.
And you won't know what to think about it.
Right. So Reylo is a thing, I guess. So when I watched the movie after Ben sacrifices himself to bring Rey back, she kisses him, right? And there's like this sweet moment between them. See, I took it as like, hey, we survived. We beat the bad guy kind of thing. And a lot of people took it as, oh, they're sexually attracted, whatever. The novel is now.
But you don't kiss someone you're not attracted to.
I mean,
again, you're right. They're releasing, right? They're coming
It's
down.
a
off
release.
but it's a release of sexual tension. Like that's why people do that.
I don't know. Is it?
It's like a release of sexual tension. Yeah, to me, it's like Why couldn't they just hugged and the same sentiment being communicated? Why did there need to be a kiss?
Yeah, but in a granted, it's also how they staged it, so you can always make anything work. But the kiss is also like, it's just it's a movie thing to do, you know.
Yes.
That's why that answers
But
that.
it's a
I'm not
movie
saying,
thing to do.
I'm not saying it's the correct
but
choice.
here's-
I'm just saying
you
it's
know
a
why
movie.
it's a movie thing to do? Because a part of the classical Hollywood film style is having a heterosexual relationship as
Right,
a part of the B
you're
plot.
right. You're right.
So they are following in the footsteps of people that are making movies that have heterosexual relationships as the B plot. So when you do that, it feels like you're communicating.
I understand
This
that.
was a B plot.
Yeah, but
You know
I
what I
think
mean? Like-
I think there's evidence to support. And by the way, the book confirms that it is platonic and it is not sexual. I think the movies basically.
You know what I think?
Yes, go ahead.
Maybe it was platonic for Ray, but Kylo knew what he was doing. Okay, like he knows I'm on my way out. I gotta get something. Before, I mean, at least a kiss.
You know, I could see this. It wouldn't surprise me to say Ben was like attracted to her. Sure,
Yes.
I say Ben more attracted because see to Ben, yeah, she's doing things
It
that's
makes
against him,
sense.
but Ray's not doing despicable things.
Yeah, it would be difficult to grasp that Ray is really attracted to him because you're like, but he's a murderer.
Yeah, now the other
And
way
he's
around,
doing horrible things.
She's just misguided. She's not doing bad things. Yeah, she's stopping him doing things, but she's not like, you know,
She's not an evil person.
to him, she's not. She's just
And
misguided.
the part of him that wants to be good probably really likes her.
Probably,
you
yes.
know.
Yeah,
But
it's very bittersweet.
it
Actually,
but it just you
what could have been?
you could have not made it this complicated. If they just hugged if they just hugged like very like passionate hug where they're just like really embracing each other and you're feeling that.
Yeah,
That's
You know,
enough. That's
but-
enough to communicate that. We don't need the kiss. It just makes things complicated.
You know-
like what did it add? What did the kiss do that a hug couldn't have done?
Let me run
if
something
they were
by you.
saying it's platonic.
let me run something by.
Run it.
So-
right through me.
Initially, I was like, I don't ever want. After Force Awakens, I was like, I don't ever want to see Kylo go good ever because he killed Han Solo. That's the
I was
camp.
never in
that
that
was
camp.
that was the camp I was in.
I was
but
in the
then when I
opposite.
watched the movie and after the Last Jedi and everything else, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I liked it. I loved it. Right.
Yeah.
I like that part of the movie. So that being said, initially I was like, I was like, this is stupid. She would never be with him, blah, 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 because I'm in this camp. But now after seeing the whole big picture, it would have been kind of cool or nice that, we kind of made Kylo complicated or maybe make him more complicated. We're talking about rewriting the movies, by the way. Maybe
Which need to be
maybe there was
and
like
we're available.
it would have been cool if they had maybe went that angle that they were like in love, but they were torn by different sides of the Force. Like one's dark
Romeo and
and
Juliet,
one's,
but with the Force.
oh man, yeah. But that and then she's basically like Jade and Luke and Mara Jade and Luke.
A little
But then the third one, it kind of makes sense that there's this. Maybe they don't actually in a relationship, but maybe they kind of want to be. Or at least you get more picked up on it. And when that third one happens, then it's like okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's earned. Then how'd you feel about it then? I guess if
I don't
anything's good,
know.
if it's earned, it's earned. But I mean,
So here's the other part that it feels like to me, since they're now a dyad, to me that's bordering on soulmate. You know what I mean?
I always kind of honestly
like-
more like brother sister.
I mean, in the Force, but
Sure.
they're not related anyway. Well,
Yeah, they're related.
Yeah, they are kind of-
Palpatine's both are. Well,
No.
technically.
Well, if Palpatine technically impregnated Shmi
but he didn't impregnate her. I mean, I would
with
like
the Force, but whose DNA did he use to combine with hers?
theoretically. See, initially Charles Soule's runs, it was implied
That he
that
did that.
that he used his own DNA kind of thing, or just the
Yeah.
midichlorians, blah, blah, blah. But then Disney, of course, come out, and Lucasfilm come out right before Rise of Skywalker and said, it's not canon, this is just Darth Vader's perception of what's happening. So it's kind of up to interpretation. But to me, again, I feel like
It's the only
Palpat-
plausible explanation. I don't want to just go on believing he was a Jesus child and
I
had
don't
no
know.
father. That still
Yeah.
feels like
to me,
feels like a giant stupid hole.
I do. To me, again,
And,
I
like-
feel like Palpatine 100% created Anakin
I
for the
think so.
reasons we're fixing to get to here in a second. Actually.
Yeah, I think so. But
Yeah.
but all in all, it just
Yeah.
it was just a fumbled mess. And it's what's sad is, and it's still true, the Rey and Kylo dynamic is the best thing about the sequels.
It
Their
is.
scenes together, their moments together, their arc, even kind of as a closed group, just them two, their arc together, is really good. But I do feel like it was a little bit meh of an ending. I mean, just the kiss, it's just unnecessary. It's just unnecessary.
Here's some more for you. So,
I'm not ready.
during their, well, this is still the platonic thing. So, like in the book, this had fixed it for you. So in the book, I think is how I read it. Kylo says he talks to her and he says, "I will always be with you." After they kiss, This is right when he's fixing to die. And she responds in person, "No one's ever really gone," which is a sentiment of what Luke told Leia in Last Jedi. Would that have,
She doesn't say that in the movie, does she?
no, this was in the book version.
Yeah.
So would that have been better for you? Or maybe she thinks it through the Force, but the way I took it was
I wish
she speaks
they
it.
would have just hugged and then he disappeared, and then he said that to her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're hugging. He turns into a pile of robes.
Gotcha. Here's a,
And then
okay.
he says that, and then she says that. That'd have been nice.
No one's ever really gone. Okay.
Her just
So-
muttering that quietly in her
That'd been
breath.
nice.
That would have been cool.
That'd been cool. So here's another thing. It's not a huge deal, but Rey apparently does not stay on Tatooine. You know, I know it's kind of, she's walking away in the desert.
Oh, is
What's
there
she going to
more?
do?
There's like a prologue kind of thing.
Well, there's just kind of like it's implied that she's going to go off and go teach a new Jedi Academy. And like, and even BB-8 is like, they're going to the Millennium Falcon, and BB-8's like, I'm tired of desert planets.
But she has no training.
What are you talking about, dude? She has all the Jedi techs, bro. And Leia trained her for,
Which apparently suck.
and Rey trained her free.
Oh, yeah. Leia trained her for a year? There's supposed to be a year between TLJ and Rise of Skywalker?
I think a year.
Why did nothing happen in a year?
Dude, what are you talking about? They built a whole resistance in a year. I don't know.
You know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
know.
Like,
I'm not writing these movies. Okay. Here's another thing. Palpatine, the one we got in Rise of Skywalker, was a clone.
yeah.
Right. So basically, what was said is that in the novel, during Return of the Jedi, Palpatine is going down the shaft, and he starts thinking, "Okay, I killed Plagueis in his sleep, and now I'm going to do what Plagueis taught me, and like I'm prepared for it. So he's going to send his essence, his dark side, his being into a clone body across the galaxy, basically like a Plan B. So he's been thinking about this for a long time. So the body that we see in Rise of Skywalker is a imperfect clone, right?
Yeah.
So we have that, and then we also have, which again is we can talk about that all day long. The other thing is, it's confirmed through the book that Rey's father was also an imperfect clone. So he was a failed clone that was sentient, that was he wasn't disfigured or anything. He couldn't hold the power of Palpatine, right? The Sith loyalists couldn't transfer the power into the body. And so technically, as we've all joked about, Palpatine, Papa Palps, as you say, he did not get down and jiggy with a female or whatever, and he didn't reproduce naturally. So technically, Palpatine, her father is Palpatine's failed clone. So I don't know.
Notice my posture. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Disney. Why are you still talking about this?
This is also the novelization.
Everyone has moved on. Yes, Rise of Skywalker sucked, and we don't care anymore. Okay? No one is talking about this except because of you, Disney. You're the one coming out with these things, and everyone's like, "Whoa, more stupidity from that movie we weren't thinking about before you said that."
Well, to be fair,
you know what I mean? It's just
novelization's
goddamn.
almost universally
You should have
released.
canceled it. You should have canceled the novelization and said, "You know what? We're done. We're going to put that on a shelf. We're just going to let it collect some dust, and we're going to get to something that's better."
I mean, but I think a lot of people will appreciate this information, and to them it retroactively makes things like, how did Palpatine come back? Well, now we know.
yeah, I don't see anyone being satisfied with the answer.
You don't think that's a good answer? You don't like those answers?
What I don't
transferred his
like,
body?
and again, is the problem with the sequels, is you pulled this out your ass at the last second to justify something you wanted to do on screen, which is have Palpatine still there. This wasn't something that was set up as an arc. We didn't have this as a plot thread from The Force Awakens that's going to somehow connect us to the end. You know what I'm saying? You don't have
No,
that,
I know what you're saying.
Good, good storytelling. That's not there. And so this doesn't satisfy me. This feels like, okay, you had to think of something to justify what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Not, hey, we thought of a really good story and this is so cool and this makes sense. It's all going to connect. No, fuck you. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
I honestly don't care why Palpatine's there. He's there. Let's move on and get somewhere where he's not. You know what I mean?
Do you remember that?
Disney, come on.
Do you remember that time where Rey shot lightning out of her hands because she was really mad in the movie Rise of Skywalker?
It was like when she thought she killed Chewie.
Yeah, she was really, really mad. So speaking of really mad beings like the Green Goliath Hulk himself.
You really tried on this. That was a stretch because you brought up, you had to bring up the subject to transition.
So
from.
anyway, Mark
You gotta have
Ruffalo
fun.
has been quoted recently saying that, hey, there are talks for him to star in the She-Hulk television show that is going to premiere on Disney Plus, right? And there's also been some rumblings and some rumors. Rumblings and rumors. That's a new thing right there. And Alison Brie is being, people want her to be She-Hulk, and I am down for that.
Yeah, She-Hulk's really like petite and sexy, right?
No. Oh, dude.
So how she's buff?
She's
and
like
ripped,
bodybuilder
but is she
buff,
buff
dude.
and ripped when she's not the Hulk?
You know, I think she can transform, do back and forth. But see, it's interesting.
But isn't
too.
she? I thought She-Hulk was like very sentient. Like
She
she never
is.
goes mad or like
She's,
mad.
part of me
Hulk
thinks
person.
that she's always She-Hulk. I can't honestly remember, but I'm thinking she can transform back and forth. I could. Be
I
wrong.
don't feel like I've ever seen She-Hulk not She-Hulk.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I feel. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just a little bit like I'm not even sure. I don't know much about She-Hulk at all.
She's an attorney at law.
Did she stay being an attorney even though she's the
Yeah,
Hulk?
dude. She's
That-
dressed
that
up.
I want to see.
She's dressed up like in a suit.
I want her like prosecuting the people that they caught from like the end game.
There you
I don't
go.
know. It's not like
It's also
prosecuting the
rumored
superheroes.
that Mark Ruffalo will be in it, and then she'll be in it, and then Thunderbolt Ross from Infinity War and Civil War will be in it. And if you don't know this,
Thunderbolt Ross. Who's that?
he's the guy who basically puts the accords down. In
Oh,
Civil
Ross.
War. Ross.
Why do you call him Thunderbolt Ross?
That's his name?
His name's Thunderbolt.
General Thunderbolt Ross.
His first name's Thunderbolt.
Pretty sure.
In the movie?
Look it up.
No.
Look it up. Anyway, if you don't know this, he turns into
Thaddeus Ross. Thunderbolt.
General Thaddeus E. Thunderbolt Ross.
So Thunderbolt is his nickname.
Sure, whatever. Who cares?
Thaddeus. It matters. If his parents named him Thunderbolt.
Listen.
That matter. It would matter to me.
Listen.
If your parents named you Thunderbolt.
Listen. Every person out there who knew what I was talking about knew what I was talking about.
Wow.
So anyway,
Thaddeus.
Thunderbolt Ross.
is the nickname. That makes sense.
sure, whatever. Anyway, if you don't know, he turns into the Red Hulk, and he works for the government.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's a big thing, actually. So it'd
Is
be
that like Abomination but red?
he's like the Hulk but red.
Isn't that what
'Cause it's called
Abomination
Red.
was?
No, the Abomination is like fucking like a really gross looking.
But he's like
Sea
having all the
guy.
Hulk powers.
Well, he's super strong, but his thing is the madder he gets, the more like heat radiation that he emits. So
Red
he
Hulk?
gets so he gets like super hot.
So like, oh wow.
He gets strong too, but he's not like the Hulk is stronger, but he gets so hot the Hulk can't touch him, kind of thing. He can't touch him as long.
How does he become? Is he like trying to?
He undergoes it on to serve the government. I'll do it. So he's like, and also here's the thing too. The more he turns into the Hulk, the more like it's possible that he'll stay the Hulk forever.
Is he like old Hulk where he has like kind of mad like child brain when he's the Hulk?
No, he's sentient. He's fully there.
Oh, okay.
He's fully there. But that's the thing, though.
But I'm guessing he turns into a villain.
It kind of no. I mean, he's part of the Thunderbolts, and he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Okay.
And
but is he? You think he'll like try to hunt down the Hulk?
He's a good guy.
Do you think they'll make him hunt down She-Hulk and Hulk?
Possibly. He's a good guy, but like, there's of course when he first came out, he was basically like
The government, the good boy,
taking out the Hulk kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he ended up becoming a good guy.
Is Ross? Is he the original like main general that the Hulk is always dealing with?
Yes, I believe so.
He was the one in the Edward Norton Hulk.
Yeah, it's him.
Okay.
The Tony
Is it the same
Stark.
actor?
Same actor.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's like that's the
Yeah,
like,
I remember that Tony Stark cameo at the end. I remember going nuts.
That's one of the
'Cause
only
that was
connections.
the first cameo.
It was. Well, besides Nick Fury, but yes, like crossover. Yes.
Right, that was the first crossover of any movie.
Yes.
Which was so fucking
Which was like
awesome.
2 months after Iron Man, actually. Same year. It's like 2 months
That's
after.
nuts.
Yeah. They
2
don't-
months?
No one,
Incredible Hulk came out 2 months after Iron
2 or
Man.
3. It's no more than 3, but no one talks about that movie. It's a great movie.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I feel like no one talks about it. I think it was amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
I adore this. No, not just called Hulk, right?
No, that's it right there.
Oh, that is it. Okay.
Yeah. 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
June 2008.
Yeah, it came out in May. It was Iron Man, so it came out 2 months later.
Damn.
Or a month later, actually. Okay,
That's
cool.
nuts. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Speaking of smashing things, The Invisible Man smashed the box office this last weekend. They opened up with $35 million on a $7 million budget.
I heard 9, but I'm sure it's 7 to 9.
Sure. I said $35 million, $27 million opening.
Yeah.
Getting my
But
facts wrong.
that's great. Invisible Man, great movie. Go check out our reaction on Initial Reaction.
Yes.
Tavern Talk by Initial Reaction. That's the YouTube channel. Go check us out.
Yep.
And our cute little skit. We
It
do
was
a
cute.
little skit.
Man, we are so cute in that skit.
We are.
Yeah, it's adorable.
But yeah, very impressive. Not surprising. It's
Yeah.
a solid movie. I bet it'll have a decent second week in box office. Probably not like crazy retention, but I could still see people wanting to go. Like the buzz, because I feel like with horror movies,
Yeah.
you get a little buzz. You get, oh, hey, this is actually good.
Well, I can
then you get more interest and you get more people coming in and stuff like
Well, I
that.
can see them also like this is their, like here's my example. Green Lantern was supposed to be the star of that universe, and then it failed. So then Man of Steel become the new Iron Man.
Yeah.
So the Mummy starring Tom Cruise was supposed to be the dark cinematic universe, right?
You think they're gonna turn her?
I think this is now their start of their dark cinematic universe.
But spoilers, she would have to be the Invisible Woman and be a bad guy, right?
Or, no. There's so many different ways you could take it.
I mean, she takes the suit with her at the end.
Yeah, definitely spoilers.
I already said spoilers.
Yeah, definitely spoilers. Yeah, I mean,
the original Invisible Man's dead by the end of it.
but there's so many different. You can always write yourself out of a corner. That's the kind of best things when you write yourself out of a corner.
I mean, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
I would be interested in seeing more movies like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need a cinematic universe.
You'll get one. So speaking of money, and then another word for money is coin. So toss a coin to your Witcher because Vesemir has been cast. In
It's
The
not Mark
Witcher
Hamill.
season 2, it's not Mark Hamill.
I was really
Unfortunately,
hoping for a Mark
that'd have
Hamill.
been really cool if he was cast.
I mean, you saw that stuff about on Twitter, like people petitioning to him, and he was like, "Hey, I would do it. I don't really know much anything about it." And then the showrunner would quoted that or replied to that was like, "That's all." I don't know. There was some kind of
it may have been too
interaction that happened
expensive.
there.
I don't know.
I mean, it could be schedules. It could be anything.
It could be anything.
He may have just not been interested.
Do you know who Kim Bodney is?
No.
He's the guy who's playing Vesemir.
Oh, I did see his face when I saw that release.
Yeah. Real quick, who's Vesemir? Why is he important to Witcher?
The Vesemir is Geralt's mentor. He's the man who taught Geralt how to be Witcher. Okay. So he's the one that trained him. The closest thing he has to a father figure.
So very mentor. Important character.
Yeah, I mean, hugely for sure. I mean, and a really cool character because he's old, but he's like just as badass as Geralt.
Okay.
So
he can move. He can slice and dice.
Yeah.
You think that may be part of it because Mark Hamill probably can't move as good as this guy?
Did you see him in The Last Jedi? He did that whole like, yeah. I don't know.
One more time. What do you do?
No, done. I mean, body doubles, man. That's not a problem.
That's true.
That's not a problem for any movie.
That's true. In other casting news, we have Antonio Banderas joining the Sony Pictures film Uncharted, the video game adaptation.
Have they said who he's going to be?
We haven't said who he's going to be. I, for some reason, keep thinking he's going to be like...
he feels like he's going to be the bad guy.
I know, that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah.
Which feels like really kind of like old school racist, where the good guy was always like your good American homeboy, and the bad guy was some like foreign speaking like mastermind.
Well, Mark Wahlberg even said this week that like it's very Indiana Jones. Of course, it's very Indiana Jones.
I mean, that whole game is like, what if Indiana Jones but a game,
but modern, yeah. And he quoted by saying something like, "It's the most movie I've ever been in." Like it's the most. And I think
that doesn't sound good.
I think what he means by that is it's the most like classical Indiana Jones.
Are they shooting it now? Are they already shooting?
They start shooting, I think, in 3 weeks.
And they don't have a director.
No, they do.
Oh, they got a new director.
It's Ruben Fletcher, which is the guy who did Venom and Zombieland 1 and 2. So I'm kind of like nervous.
So 1 out of 3 was good.
Yeah, and the one they had Travis Knight beforehand who did Bumblebee, which is a great movie. It's the best.
I mean, I do see a little bit of why like the Zombieland pacing would be good because Uncharted has some humor and some light, funny, jokey stuff, but also the action and stuff.
I'm a huge Uncharted fan.
I'm
in general.
worried. I'm not generally.
Yeah,
but.
And to me,
Tom Holland is the young Nathan Drake. I played a little bit.
I just don't really care about that. That's my problem. I don't care that he's a young Nathan Drake. What's the point of it?
Mark Wahlberg is Sully. I think that's a good casting.
I don't actually.
You don't like
No, it's nothing. He's nothing like Sully. He's more like Nathan Drake than Sully. He was actually originally Nathan Drake.
Oh, that's right. I wonder how he feels about that.
I don't know.
We want to cast you as the titular role. Actually, we want to tie you as the titular role.
Mark. You're not so hot anymore, I guess. I don't know. That's sad.
He's hot.
I like Mark. Oh yeah, definitely hot.
Buff.
Different type of. He's hot.
Yeah, with a W.
HAWT. Yes.
He looks like a snack, as they say.
And more on Uncharted territory. Jim Lee is now again the main head honcho over at DC Comics, and we kind of talked about this a little bit last week about how they might be absorbed by Marvel and all this stuff that's happening. But he came out and finally said, "Hey. We've been around for 85 years. We're going to be around for another 85 years. So basically, don't worry about that. We're going to be making comics, and Warner Brothers even kind of come out, I think, and there's been a lot more stuff.
Them and said, "Hey, we're not."
And kind of like, "Hey, it's the pillar of our content. Like we basically get our content from
Warner
them,
Brothers. Okay,
whatever. So who knows?
You get it from them, and then you fuck it up.
Yeah. Well.
So.
Yeah. On DC Comics, we also have the Batmobile reveal, right?
Yeah,
so from Matt Reeves. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Hot rod looking, kind of like muscle car.
It's very
It's very homemade. It's not military. It's not. It's like a muscle car with modifications.
With like kind of like his bat bike is like
with
bat
the wing
wings.
things.
Yeah.
Here's what I say. I can tell just from all the media that Matt Reeves has been putting out that he has a very particular vision for this film. Even just from the color, the lighting, the way things are shot, it just feels like, oh man, you've got a really interesting, potentially like aspect to do Batman in that we haven't necessarily seen. And so I'm like holding out all of my judgment because I believe in that. I believe in filmmakers having visions and being allowed to see them come to fruition.
Yes.
That to me is the best movies. And so I'm holding reservations. I don't love any of the looks I've seen so far. I'm just not in love with them. I'm not like
not against them, but
they don't like. I'm not repulsed by them.
Right.
But I'm just like, okay, maybe. But I'm more interested in the overall product. Like, what is Matt Reeves going to do with this? What is his version of Batman going to be? What's it going to be like? That's more my interest. And I'm holding out hope that that's going to be really good. I really hope it will.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, again, I kind of share the same sentiment that you. Nothing's blowing me away, but also like it's interesting, and just at the end of the day, it'll boil down to the movie itself.
Indeed.
Chris Pistol kind of commented on after we shared it, was like, look at that lighting now. So you're right. It has a look.
It has a feel that is distinctive.
Yeah, it does.
And that's exciting because that's just exciting for me, for sure.
Speaking of,
sorry, one more thing. It looks like very little green screen.
Oh yeah,
which after practical. The Batman versus Superman, Justice League, all that shit, I'm like, God, give me more Batman, not on a green screen.
Right.
Like, please just.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
I had this 5G initiative from DC Comics and like how it connects all the universes, and then how there's a movie called Connected coming out. It's a very
still going on.
It's a very
that's
bad
still happening.
Segue. The 5G initiative apparently it's been rolled back a little bit, and it's not really happening so much.
Like not as drastically.
Apparently, yeah, they're really going to kind of lean back into of course the
main characters,
like they've been doing the last 10 years, whatever.
Right.
But anyway, there's a movie trailer called Connected. Did you watch it? It's the same people who made.
Oh yeah, I did watch that.
Chris Miller and Phil Phil Miller and Chris Lord. I can't remember. Maybe, I think I reversed that, but it looks pretty good.
It does. I mean, it looks like the animation style looks unique enough that feels different.
It's kind of like Lego Batman and kind of like Spider-Verse, and
it's got kind of that stop motion aesthetic,
but like all combined into like its own unique thing.
Yeah. The first half of the trailer feels very different than the second half. I will say that.
Wildly different.
What the fuck is happening?
Wildly different.
Like you think it's like this nice coming together, like family relational drama comedy, and then things are happening. It's like, oh, robots are taking over the world now. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's
like.
I mean, I'm in for it. I thought it was gonna be this kind of this sweeter, like figuring out, about your family.
It looks sweet. It looks a little cliche. I mean, I can tell you the moral of the movie is put your phone down and connect with people.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Novel.
I think it's probably a mix in between both. She's gonna do that, and he's gonna learn, of course, to like. Technology's okay. It has its benefits, but it also has its drawbacks too. So
is he like, anti-technology?
He's anti-technology.
In the trailer, he is.
Yes,
I can't remember that. Yeah, I'm sure you're right.
I'm sure it'll be a happy medium, right?
Yeah. Sure.
One cool thing is 3 years ago this week, Logan come out in theaters, right? So we're celebrating 3-year anniversary.
What a movie!
And that's a good movie.
Film.
It's a very good movie.
Damn, that's in my top 3 all-time superhero films.
What's your other 2? The Dark Knight.
Fuck.
And what's the other one?
The Dark Knight or The Batman Begins. Those kind of are vying for that spot.
Okay. Is it Infinity War, I guess? Or what's your third
Infinity
one?
Infinity War.
You like that better than Civil War?
Know, but
You like that better than Civil War, Infinity War?
No, it wouldn't be. It would be Winter Soldier if it wasn't Infinity War.
You like it better than Winter Soldier?
I like Winter Soldier better than Civil War. And I like Infinity War better than Civil War.
I don't know why I'm doing this at the mic.
I don't either. Then what you're going for there?
I don't either.
No, yeah, it would be Batman Begins or The Dark Knight. It's just daily. It depends on the day.
Depends on his mood.
Infinity War
on his cycle.
Or Winter Soldier. It depends on the day. Depends on what I ate for breakfast.
There you go.
And then, I mean, Logan's the only one that's like, there's no question.
Number 1?
Oh, damn, maybe. It's so good. And part of why it's so good is it stands alone. I think Infinity War is amazing, but you kind of have to credit all the movies that came before it for why it's so amazing.
I think Logan's
in some ways.
The reason why I could not figure out what was wrong with me the night Logan came out, and the part of it is because I realized that I had lost somebody fictionally, but I had lost somebody that had been part of my life for 15, 20 years, and that movie works.
Hugh Jackman specifically.
Yeah, and the answer and Patrick Stewart. Charles Avery.
Fuck, yeah.
So that to me, The Lost was not a self-contained movie. It was the build-up. It was 20 years of my life.
I understand that.
So I think it's a little
I
unfair to
understand
say.
that. That's fair. That's fair. But man, Logan,
Yeah.
top tier.
Yeah. Very good movie. We have to do like a retro, talk.
I want to. That movie's so
something.
fucking good.
Yeah.
I just want to watch it again right now.
Yeah, it's really good. So James Mangold directed Logan, as you know, and also he just directed Ford vs. Ferrari. It came out this year. It's nominated for a few
He has a
Academy
very
Awards.
diverse resume.
Well, it's fixing to get even more diverse because he's now in talks to direct the 5th Indiana Jones movie. He has taken over from Steven
What a
Spielberg.
what does he want to direct? Like, I feel like I can't. Like, you'd think after Walk the Line.
No, man, let him do it.
Yeah, it's just funny. Like, I feel like
Don't peg him.
I'm just wondering, does he peg himself anywhere? Because he's just doing like
He can
stuff.
do
You know,
his thing. He can do whatever he wants. So he's probably
yeah. If I could do whatever I want, I'd probably just make a few types of films. You know, I probably wouldn't want to make every kind of film. I just want to make a film I make.
I think that's what I think. I
And I'd
personally,
want to make anything I make.
I want to make a
I would
really
write it.
great horror movie. I want to make a really good Indiana Jones action adventure, or a swashbuckling adventure. I want to make a great superhero film. I want to make a great. I'll make a racing movie or a biopic.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's what I want to do everything.
I get it.
But I mean, like Steven Spielberg, he has a lot of kind of, family friendly things, but they're all they're different in a lot of ways. I guess they're similar, but they're also different.
No, you're right.
Granted, he's also been working for 40 years, 30 years, so eventually you got to kind of branch out. But
Mangold?
No, Spielberg.
Oh, yeah.
But, and it's weird that Spielberg's not doing this. It's the first time he's never directed an Indiana Jones movie, and it's kind of weird because, I don't know.
I mean, his last outing wasn't great, so I'm not
No,
that
but he said he wanted
worried.
to come back because he wanted to kind of fix the shit, or
Yeah.
steer the shit back, as you may anyway. And
Yeah, I'm sure he's still producing.
he is producing, so he said that he wants new voices, new whatever, and maybe someone can do something different with it, or and so it's like, all right. I mean, I trust Mangold a lot, but it's just kind of, I don't know.
I might trust Mangold more than current Spielberg. Well, I mean, the last great Spielberg movie to me was probably Bridge of Spies.
I don't think
I never saw The Post.
Okay, now take Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Just take out your hate for the script or whatever. The direction, though, it's a finely directed movie.
Yeah, but
it
what
feels
made
like
his
Indiana
early movies
Jones.
so good was the direction and the story.
No, but that's not necessarily. I mean, granted, he does work
He's
with
directing the dialogue. He's directing the performances.
Yeah, but I know, but his thing was George writes it and then I direct it. So George Lucas wrote it.
Yeah.
And David Koepp, but those two, or George does the story and then David writes. David
Right.
Koepp wrote the
Right.
last one, I believe. And then
Man, that would be a nice team up to have again. Why don't they do another thing like that? Lucas write another script and him direct it.
I mean, they were going to with this one. He did the story. I think.
Did he do the story for this one again?
I guess so. And then Koepp's
I didn't see that.
And then Koepp's writing it again. But now that's not happening.
He didn't do for Crystal Skull, did he?
Yeah.
George Lucas wrote the story?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. So I think now Lawrence Kasdan's son, last time I heard, he was writing. I can't think of his name. I mean, it's James Kasdan or Jonathan Kasdan. He's
Something
writing.
Kasdan.
He's writing the newest one, but I think then David Koepp got brought back on the rewrites again. And now, of course, Mangold's on. They're supposed to be shooting, according to Harrison Ford recently in the press, in like 3 or 4 months. So it sounds like it's really weird for a loser director, especially of a movie this caliber. I don't know. It keeps getting setback after setback.
It's not as weird when the director's just saying, hey, I'm going to produce instead of direct. Just produce. Because I'm sure he was producing and directing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I really don't know. I
Yeah.
wonder if
I mean, we'll see.
this is the first
I hope
one.
it's good.
I don't think Disney did not have Indiana Jones when the 4th one was made. So now that this is Kathleen,
that's true.
this is Kathleen Kennedy again doing Indiana. She's been doing all of them. That keep in mind that she's done all of them. So you have her,
All of what?
Indiana Jones.
She's been there since the beginning?
Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure.
She's produced since the beginning?
Yes, pretty sure. Really? I mean, she's in like everything. That's amazing. She's produced pretty much.
Yeah.
Everything big, especially Spielberg. But I think what's interesting is, I don't know, maybe Disney's like, hey, the last one didn't work, just like the prequels. So maybe they're trying to like force it to feel like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. I want it to be good. I love the first 3 Indiana Joneses,
God, they're so good.
but I'm a little reserved.
what
after
if,
Crystal Skull.
what if he did a Logan like Indiana Jones, where like Indiana Jones dies? Indiana Jones
That would probably be
and
the best way to do it.
the last crusade.
I feel like they can't just try to make Harrison Ford still an action star. It just doesn't work.
Nah, you're
They've got to
wrong.
find a
You're
different way to do
wrong there. I want him an action star till the day he's gone.
it. It'll look like De Niro in The Irishman though. You know what I mean?
Dude, he looked really good in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That was like 10 years ago almost.
It is weird, isn't it?
10 years ago.
It was more than that, actually.
When did that come out?
No, you're right. It was 11 years ago because
2009?
2008 or 9. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a long time ago,
2008.
especially when you go from like 70 to 80 something or wherever Harrison Ford's at now.
You're right.
You exponentially become more fragile.
You're right.
As the years go on.
Ooh, yeah.
Not to just confront our audience with the existential dread of decay and that all life dies and that we don't know what's afterwards. But that's the truth.
That is definitely an undiscovered country. Death. And speaking of undiscovered countries, Picard. Did you like that one? Picard, baby.
Yes and no. I did and I didn't.
All right, Picard. How we feeling? Oh, by the way, I haven't watched it yet.
You're me in this scenario.
I'm like 3 episodes behind now. All right, go ahead.
L4 now. New one came out today.
Oh my God. Maybe I won't watch
Picard,
it. I don't know.
We're only 2 episodes behind. Oh, but no, we haven't covered 2 episodes. We haven't covered 5 and 6.
Yes, we have.
No.
This is episode 6 this week. We covered.
We didn't cover 5 last week.
Yeah, we did 4 or 5 last week. Yes, we did.
I don't care.
We're just one
Yes,
episode,
we did.
baby.
Okay, yes. So
Yes, we did.
5, obviously the big deal was Jerry Ryan came back 7 of 9. They had a little nice heisty plot. She was okay at 7 of 9. She felt nothing like the original 7 of 9. 7 of 9 and Voyager was like this, like very like everything is ordered, almost Vulcan in that way.
Yeah.
Everything is ordered. She's like coming off the collective.
And she's back in this one?
In episode 5, yeah. And she comes back and she's like, "Hey, Picard." She's like she's like a normal human being, and it feels like, I mean, it makes sense because even throughout Voyager, she becomes more and more like an individual as she's longer away from the Borg collective. Like she starts regaining her own like desires
she
and
has
stuff.
the
Back.
thing because she's a
exactly.
Borg.
She's ex-Borg, and so, but just to see her acting completely normal and never having even an instant where we kind of see that old 7 of 9 back. It just felt like they're just reinventing. They might as well have recast her.
So she just talks like a human now.
She just talks totally normal. Like just, and it is, she always talks like a human, but it was always kind of like very short and almost militaristic, like short and sweet. And,
is the explanation that she's, I mean, I guess that it's been 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, even in Voyager, from the beginning of her on the show to the end of the show, she changes a lot. She's
on Voyager also.
Yeah, that's where she's from originally. Voyager, 7 of 9. She's a great character. She saved the show. When she comes on, I think it's season 2, and to the point of the end of the show, she shows a lot of dynamic growth.
And this is after Next Generation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the one. It's the Discovery. It's the one right before Enterprise. I think it ended like 03 or 04 maybe.
Okay.
I think it started in 99, 2000. Anyway, it just felt like she wasn't actually 7 of 9 anymore. It felt like it was almost a new character, It just felt weird, and that trend kind of continued again because we have a really interesting connection to the arc. We've seen this character several times on the show already. It's the guy that is helping Soji on the artifact.
Okay.
The guy with the other Borg, like the other ex-Borg.
Yes.
So what's cool is, and we didn't know that till now, he is actually Hugh. Oh. Hugh is a deep cut from a Star Trek Next Generation episode. I think it was one on the last season, but basically they come across this small Borg vessel of a bunch of Borg that have broken away from the collective, or the collective abandoned them. I can't remember exactly, but they're kind of just like not doing anything, and they help Hugh, who's one of them, kind of regain his conscience and like regain his like individuality, and then he starts helping these other Borg, and we just kind of leave him, and he's like going off trying to find a new home for him and his smaller group of Borg, so they're not trying to assimilate anyone. They're just, you know, normal ex-Borgs. So we find out the guy we've been seeing on the artifact is Hugh, which is pretty big deal. I mean, Hugh is a big character, and we all were kind of wondering if he would come back for this, because that was kind of a thread that was kind of left open. It was just left open. It wasn't dangling, but it was left open. But again, it's one of those things of like, he doesn't reminisce of the Hugh that we had on the next. It just feels like such a new iteration that it's like, if he's this different, I don't know. It just almost like, why didn't you just make a new character? I don't know. It just, there's just things that keep hanging me up like that, that I don't love.
All right.
But I will say, we've had more action.
How's the episode
We've
doing?
had more actual things happening. There's still some like, what the fuck moments in terms of like writing and dialogue. And I'm just like, what? There's still way too many conversations that are like they're being used to progress. Like okay, do you remember the Romulan guy that's trying to like that's with Soji? He's trying to like like basically manipulate her, and he's got his sister, and they're kind of going back and forth. She's like, you
Yeah.
gotta do it faster.
Yeah.
You get like 3 like scenes of them talking, like every episode it feels like. And it's just like the sister being like, it's taking too long. And he's like, I'm doing it the slow way. Your way sucked. She's like, well, it better happen soon. And then it's over. And then it's like the next episode, you get a scene that feels like the exact same thing is said, but with different words. And you're just like, what the fuck is the point of this?
So as a Star
I'm
Trek
saying-
fan, how you feeling? Dude, yeah, how you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. It's not what I wanted it to be. Not yet. Maybe it
That's
evolves
sad.
into it. Hey,
I'm sad for
you know,
you.
there is a precedence for TV shows drastically improving after season 1.
I'm so sad about to say that though. It's like, how long has it been since Picard? You know, like, well,
Next
probably
Generation ended
20 years.
97, 98.
Yeah, the movie Nemesis is probably 99, 01.
No. The last one was 01, 02.
Okay, so it's been almost 20 years.
Nemesis, yeah.
With this character.
It was
so.
02.
Oh boy. All right. Well, you keep.
I hope it gets better.
Every episode, I'm like, oh, do I want to go back? Do I just want to let you review it, or do I need
You
to watch
can.
it?
I mean, honestly, the only reason I'm still in this much is just because of my connection with Star Trek.
Yeah.
So if someone doesn't have that, I don't know why you're watching this. I don't. I wouldn't. If I
Dang.
didn't have a connection to Jean-Luc, I wouldn't be here.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's get to the cool stuff.
Ooh.
The penultimate episode of The Outsider.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Great episode.
Good episode.
Great episode. Man, yeah. This show is just, so far, it's becoming a highly, high favorite of mine because
It's so good.
it's True Detective, but with monsters.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel like you could
Honestly,
pitch it like that.
I feel
and
like-
you would be really accurate.
And I think I've said this every week. Not a whole lot happens, it feels like, but it's so interesting and just so well made that it's like, I don't even care. I can just like,
And even when things aren't happening, you're getting interesting and important moments with characters. Which is, again, another parallel from what Picard doesn't happen. There's several episodes of Picard where it feels like nothing happens, but the important moments feel like convoluted and cheesy and not real.
Yeah.
In The Outsider, it feels so good. The writing, the dialogue writing, it's perfect. It's really well. Everyone feels so natural and real. Yeah, I totally agree.
Man.
But I mean, a lot happened in this episode.
a lot did happen, yeah.
This was an action. The past 2 have been pretty packed.
Of course, this is the penultimate episode, so we have
Yeah.
to have things ramp up.
Set
the
up for the
finale.
finale. Which is the finale only an hour?
I don't know.
Do we know?
I think it's an hour. Yeah.
Okay. It feels like there's a lot left to do.
Well, we
You know
know,
what I mean?
we kind of ended things with they determined where El Cuco is
Yep.
at. They figured out. They kind of talked more about, I guess, the creature itself, and
Well, they did a lot of investigating and trying to find it, but then they also had that really nice kind of subplot that you
like-
thought was happening in real time.
see, I never thought that.
Oh, I kind of did at the beginning.
Well, here's why I didn't think that, and it's a weird thing just for me because when I made my thesis recently in last year, I had to research flashlights.
Oh.
And so
That-
I knew
There
when
you go.
as soon as it happened,
Yeah,
I
that
said,
makes sense. That makes total sense.
I told Katie, I said, they're in the 50s right now. I said, because those were 50s flashlights. And she was like, what? And
Yeah.
then,
That's a good catch.
and then they said,
That's a good little
50s or
Easter egg,
60s.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, look at that. Actually,
That was really good.
Yeah, I knew
I
that,
wouldn't have
actually.
caught that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah, but that was nice. It was just added, well, because I didn't know at the beginning. I was kind of suspecting it by the end, just
Right.
because of the clothing a little bit, especially on the dad.
Well, especially-
and the fact that he went up to a payphone too. He didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah. And at the very end, though, they're kind of like, the way even the women are talking and everything, the way they're all gathered.
But
felt
you know
like,
by that point because
Oh, yeah.
the brother that's telling the story says,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
but there was some nice tension there when they cut back and forth between that. At least for me, because I didn't know, and you really thought, oh shit, these boys are about to get straight up eaten.
yeah.
You know, the way they did that was really good, but it also was a really good way to set up the circumstances of the cave
Yeah. And like
in an
why it's
interesting
important.
way.
Yeah.
Without just telling, yeah, the cave caved in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like showing it being more interesting. And of course, the coolest part of that was justifying why Cuco was there.
Yeah. That's
Because
why I
of the
think it's
graveyard
cool.
situation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it was like, oh, fuck. So smart.
Yeah.
So well written. Credit Stephen King, sure. But really well done.
Cool stuff. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it all. I feel like there's, I'm trying to think about it. I think the thing that sticks out to me the most is, of course, the last like 30 seconds.
Oh,
which is-
sure.
Which
I was not expecting them to leave it there.
I was like, as soon as, you know, the
Well,
guy
I-
found out that they're coming, I was like, they're going to kill somebody. Or it'll be like some type of ambush or
Well,
something.
that part I knew by that point, but I didn't think it was going to end with a shootout from a sniper in front of the caves. You know what I mean?
I can see
Like
that.
that. I
think
was
kinda
expecting
felt it.
them to. I was expecting Cuco and the guy he's got, you know, slave guy or whatever. I was expecting
That's
them
his
to be
name.
hiding in the cave, like to ambush them
Yeah.
and to make it spooky.
Yeah.
Like to just start sniping people as soon as you roll up. That also feels like not this. Like, yeah, you got the first one, and we hear gunshots over credits, but I'm not expecting anyone else to be dead. They probably all took cover.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the next episode next time on
Oh, I didn't watch that.
Yeah,
Does it give some things away about who
yeah,
else
I
dies?
mean, well, it just shows that, of course, our main character Ben Mendelsohn doesn't die in that moment.
Well, of course we know
Yeah.
that, and I'm sure the black girl doesn't either.
Yeah, so it's very much like, yeah, it's fine.
I was highly expecting what
her
is
boyfriend's
her boyfriend to
yeah,
die.
Yeah,
I was actually expecting,
give it time.
It will happen. But I was actually really kind of like waiting for it when they were in the car. They like stopped on the way there and like kind of had this like moment where they were talking to each other, and I was like,
no, that's one too.
he's gonna catch in the head.
When that was happening, I said he's fixing to die. That's what I told Katie.
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
about to get sniped in
he's
the
fixing to die.
motherfucking head.
It was the spot to do it. Was that moment?
And it would have been brutal though. I mean,
It would have been. Just blood went on her face. She
Yeah. Which what is?
Yeah.
I feel like that's. I'm remembering.
Every movie does this. That's a good movie. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. I mean, it was just that was interesting that they ended with a shootout in front of the cave. Again, I thought they'd get inside of it and be like about to get.
Here's
got
where
by
it
the master
happens.
or something.
It's called The Mandalorian.
What?
The first episode. Remember that? That's how they did it.
No.
He kills the robot, Taika Waititi.
Oh no, I'm not.
It's very similar.
I'm thinking more of like Children of Men
Sure.
when she dies in the car ride.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. I think they do a very similar thing.
Oh, wait, they shoot that, and she dies at the very end, or
No, it caps her like right. She dies immediately in the car
and then
when they're on their way.
They do like the 360 thing then. Afterwards, like the 360 one shot thing.
I don't remember exactly in the car. I mean, they did that at the
remember.
end.
Oh, I can't remember.
That's the long shot when he's like carrying the baby and like they're trying to get out of the building.
Oh, I'm thinking when she's in the vehicle. Anyway,
Yeah.
another podcast.
This is before. This is before they meet her.
Okay.
Before he meets the pregnant girl.
I don't remember.
This is when they're like on the way to go.
Yeah,
meet him,
yeah.
And the red haired girl's with him, and then
Yeah.
she just gets shot in the head.
Yes.
The motorcycle rides up next door and just shoots her.
Yeah, that's it. That's the same shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Tangent.
Outsider good, Picard bad.
Picard.
Picard, Yeah, that's right. So, again, this drops Saturday, March 7th, and tonight at 6 p.m. at the Ron Robb Theater. Come watch Batman 1989 with us if you're in the area. It's free, and we're going to have a podcast
I'll buy your
afterwards.
tickets.
He'll buy your tickets
I'll
for
buy
you.
your tickets.
There you go. There's free prizes. There's trivia, all kinds of cool things like that. So come talk to us. Come hang out with us.
Do it.
Also, Daniel, next week we'll be back with another baby cast. We're going to review 2 of those, actually. So we'll have Onward with Johnny Brandon. And then we'll also have Star Wars Episode 3, Clone Wars Season 7, baby cast, right? And then we'll be talking about Picard again, Episode 7. But then we'll be talking about the finale of The Outsider.
That'll be where the gold.
One cool thing, I'm going to go ahead and... Should we say it?
I don't know. What you say?
Who I talked to this last weekend about The Outsider?
What?
Who I talked to, our Outsider connection?
Oh, why not? Yeah.
Sure. Well, I talked to Graham Gordy himself this weekend, who is in the
He's in the
writers'
writers'
room,
room, season 2.
in the writers' room, season 2, and
Of
he
The
said
Outsider.
that he might be able to come on for an episode. Kind of cool.
Might be exciting.
Maybe we can get him on. I told him, I said, we won't ask you. We know you can't tell us anything,
Yeah.
but maybe we can.
But we can
discuss.
We can ask you questions and you can give nonverbal cues.
There you
Graham.
go.
I know you're watching this.
Yeah, of course.
Number 1 fan, Graham Gordy.
It is. Yep. Arkansas fame, Graham Gordy. And so there you go. We also have. I think that's it. That's next week.
We also have nothing because this episode is fucking over.
How can our writers? How can our
How do
listeners?
our writers listen in?
Sure.
They can listen at
How can our writers?
bit.ly/241mail. I did that on purpose.
How can our writers write in?
They can go to bit.ly/241mail.
Thank you.
And write in. That's our mailbag. You can give your name. You can give a question. You can give a statement. You can make
You can do whatever
a
you want.
political announcement. I don't give a fuck.
You can write in.
You can write in.
You can do math equations, and we'll try to do them on the show.
We'll say that's math and move on.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if anything else, Podcast 241, you can always go to our website, podcast241.com.
Also, cool new microphone. Do you see this? And mic and stand. And soon, aka next week, we should all have these, which will
Hopefully.
be
We had some technical
real
issues
fancy.
earlier, so we couldn't get it
Yes,
going.
we
But
did. It made
maybe
me
next week it
angry.
will be happening.
It made me mad.
It did make you mad. So we also have through our website, you can go through any of our social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. So we implore you to go like and subscribe to all of those. And also, if you can, give us a review on YouTube,
No,
iTunes.
you can. God damn it, you can. I believe in you.
There you go.
And anything less, you're cheating yourself.
There you go.
You're cheating yourself. You You fucked yourself on this one if you don't give us a review.
To quote Nike and Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
What else is there to say?
Only one thing to say, Daniel. My name is Donovan Thompson.
I'm Daniel Wingfield.
And we have spoken.